Hello everyone, I'm Mattias Crodici and today I will present to you our work of Candy, a framework to design conversational agents for domestic sustainability. At the Sustainable Development Goals Summit in September 2019, world leaders described the 2020s as a decade of action. Modern technologies could help achieve sustainable goals, and AI could play a fundamental role across different digital innovation tools. Different strategies to induce more sustainable behaviors have been explored in recent years. However, little work has focused on completely studying the potential of integrating digital devices and conversational technology for sustainability in domestic spaces. To fulfill this open issue, we organized a focus group involving 7 participants with different educational and working backgrounds, operating on the topic of environmental sustainability in the domestic context. The focus group addressed the research question: which are the potential domestic areas of intervention in which conversational technologies integrated with digital devices could interact with people for more sustainable behavior? Participants pointed out interesting challenges in sustainable human-computer interaction to be considered in the designing new technological tools, particularly for new conversational interfaces addressing energy consumption. You can find a detailed description of the process and its result in the paper. We schematized the result of the focus group into a framework to support the design of conversational agents for sustainability in home automation environments. Now we will go briefly into the details of the framework. In the first section, the framework lists the conversational agent affordance, defining inputs and output channels that the agent can use to interact with the user. In the second section, the framework details the communication with the domotic environment to clearly understand the context in which the conversational agent will operate. We classify the element in 4 categories: user action sensing, that are action performed by the user in the domotic environment; environmental action sensing, that are action generated in the environment; user behavior sensing, that is the detection of the user behavior via different conditions happening in the environment; and finally, environmental state sensing, that is the detection of particular condition happening in the external or domotic environment. To complete the high-level specification of the conversational agent, the designer must define the sustainability area of intervention. For each area, designers must decide on which level the conversational agent will target that area, going from absent to priority. It is now the moment to focus on the interaction approach with the final user. Designers should consider the interaction between conversational agent and the user according to the 2 most used strategies: passive, waiting for the user's call, or proactive, according to external events. Another essential feature to consider is conversational agent behavior. It should ask the user to perform a specific action or directly act on the smart environment without telling the user the activity. This last point is also related to the context dimension of the conversational agent, if it should be isolated or well integrated into the domestic environment. A critical design dimension to consider is sensitivity. As advised during the focus group, selecting the most suitable threshold of measure detected by the device is important to trigger the conversation and not to be too intrusive in people's life. Still, conversational agent designers have to select the right feedback strategy, having a conversational agent that scolds people or try to motivate them. Yet sometimes the conversational agent could be punctilious, while other designers prefer having a repetitive agent that gives feedbacks. ACI experts have to consider the personification of the technology. It could be closer to human and let users think they are talking with a friend, or being as neutral as possible. In addition, the conversational agent content presentation must be taken into account. Sometimes conversational agents should be serious, while conversational agents should use gamification techniques in another context. Thank you very much, and for any question, let's keep in touch via email.